late night YouTube talk show. We are live for another live stream. And so tonight, Tuesday night, the 21st day of the month of July, excited to be back for live stream. And so got a couple articles here, and I can tell already from the chat, some of the excitement and buzz in the chat room happens to be over the commodities, doing a little bid as of the last 2 days, especially today. So we're going to definitely touch on that. And so came across a couple of other articles I think we should also touch on. But yet an interesting article here from Michael Snyder, who is a very creative blogger. And so he actually put together a list of things that he would recommend. And I wanted to find out what's missing on that list, given that there's been a lot of talk about panic buying, and perhaps we can learn a lot from one another by sharing ideas and whatnot. So going to go through a list here and then get your thoughts on it, as well as open up the phone lines and find out what else is on your mind. And so as always, I want to welcome everybody to the live stream. For those that are watching for the first time or want to shout out your location and your name or whatnot, feel free to do so. And I will acknowledge your presence. Definitely blessed to be able to have you guys join us this evening. So let's dive right into the chat, and then I'll open up this article and try to get through more articles before I open up the phone lines, and then get your guys' thoughts and as well as comments. And also, if you have any thoughts you want to share, highlight at Rethinking a Dollar. It'll stand out. I'll see it and definitely acknowledge it if I can. And so let me check in. We got Aaron Levi says, "Hi, Mike. We got our weight up and are being rewarded for it with $22 silver and gold at 1860, knock on all-time highs." Kenan says, "My local premium is 26. SD bullion is 27." All right. Solo. So what up, Mike? Solo's in the building again. White with the gains of metals, low blood pressure, about to refinance his home, max out his cars, and sell his kids. All right. Low blood pressure, truth or nothing, Solo. Okay, well, we got Mr. Spanky. All right, so Pat, we got Jay, Tony, True, what up, John? Okay, Johnny Boy at the bar. Okay, so how's everybody doing, man? Hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so I wanted to just share this first article, and then I got a couple more articles. And, of course, we'll get to silver. It looks like everybody's excited about silver. And outside of it's definitely good to see some momentum. I'm not 100% behind it. I'm not giddy, definitely put a smile on my face, but I'm not like, oh yeah, here we go now, just because it's still early in the game. Once we surpass the previous highs, then at that point, we're off in the clear and able to really create some true momentum, nominal price wise. But for those that, have been lagging behind and suffering for a long time, I guess this is good news. But all right, so somebody says, sell your kidneys and max out your credit cards, get a second mortgage and buy precious metals. Okay. So I want to start off with this first article here, get your guys' thoughts on it. And then reason I wanted to bring this out there, just because, as I mentioned before, panic buying, we had that first little shutdown. We saw shelves clear out. And for those that had no preparations, I'm assuming it probably got caught up. And then also between now and the next couple of months, we can anticipate some further authoritative type of lockdowns, i.e. assuming that we'll hear stuff that's similar to what's happened out in Cali. But Michael Snyder wrote a list here. Wanted to just share real quickly and then find out what you guys think is missing from this list, so we can have ideas and just share thoughts amongst each other real quick. So here's an article came out yesterday. It says a list of 50 things you should get right now to prepare for the chaotic events of the next 12 months. And so I'll save you all some of the verbiage, but basically saying that 12 months is not, he's not saying, but, after 12 months you're in the clear, but he's saying between now and that time frame, due to the uncertainties, due to being locked down and, grocery store, food chain supply issues, all that stuff like that, outside of the basics. Okay. He mentions, shelter, food, water, and one other thing. Outside of those things, what else do you guys recommend having? And so that's basically it in a nutshell. And so I'll go through the list here of some of the things he put out there. And then if anybody out there has any other unique or interesting or things that may not be listed here, feel free to chime in via chat, and then definitely gives us a better understanding and an idea as to what are some options. So real quickly, I'll run through them as quick as I can. It says, with all of that being said, the following are 50 things that I am encouraging everyone to stock up in order to prepare for chaotic times that are coming. And so first, generator. You need some energy. So assuming that's, just a basic one. It says a Berkeley water filter, I'm not familiar with Berkeley water filter, but assuming that's something worthwhile. It says a rainwater collection system, an emergency med kit. Then he lists a couple foods: rice, pastas, canned soup, canned vegetables, canned fruit, canned chicken, jars of peanut butter, salt, sugar, powdered milk, bags of flour, yeast, lots of extra coffee, lots of long-term storable food, vitamins, lighters or matches, candles, flashlights, plenty of wood to burn, extra blankets, sun level, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, toothpaste, extra razors, extra batteries, solar chargers, trash bags, tarps, pocket knife, a hammer, axe, shovel, work gloves, N95 mask, a seed for a garden, can jars, extra supplies for your pets, emergency supply of cash, Bible for every member of your family, a bug out bag for every member of your family as well. And so, not saying that this is an entire list. This is something he put out there because he mentioned that his viewers have been, or his readers have been asking for some basic preparatory type of things. And so, with that being the case, I wanted to throw that list out there and then also find out what else you guys think belong on this list, or what are some things that we probably can add to better help one another prepare. So, that being the case, feel free in the chat. Let me know what you guys think would be worthy of adding to this list based upon what you've seen. JBW says Berkey doesn't have any water filters. Okay, so assuming that is that it says Berkey water filters. Okay, so assuming he could be misspelled, don't know, but okay. Freeze dried food. No, it's serious when it's on RTD. Says batteries, guns, shotgun. Okay, money. Okay, you guys can see that, so I'm not gonna read it. 100 pounds of sugar. Hey, low blood pressure. You're gonna try to you sugaring up your kids or what? What's going on with that? All that sugar, man. That's, especially that white processed stuff is not good for you, man. What else we got here? It says see the deal on one for like 140. What we talking about there? No mask. What else we got here? Police scanner. Yeah, definitely. CB radio. That's something good. That's definitely something good. And so let me show you guys something right here. So of course, before everything went haywires, in preparations, I went out and got me a little Bofang boy that you can apparently apart from playing with it, these things are extremely complicated, man. But apparently, if you get good with it, you can basically talk across country with them things. So definitely, ham radio, definitely that's what it is. Great barter. What else we got here? 3 months of dry goods, fruit, frozen meats for 4 of us for 3 months. Okay. Rethinking Dollar ordered a water filler March 25th. I was told they were behind and getting them on the distributors. Okay. All right. So that's something worth checking into. Low blood pressure, just a spirited body won't need camouflage clothing. Okay. So we going camouflage style. Camouflage clothing. Ralph, why is that? You trying to, blend into the woods if you're trying to escape, or what's going on with that? Curry powder, 100%, or cayenne powder, cannabis. Okay. Definitely. That's something that, people, I got my CBD oil, so that's, as good as it gets for me. But guns and ammo, medium-sized dog, good friends, circle community. I bought coin toilet paper. Okay. 10 years of food. I got a ham radio as well. So the biggest thing is I'm trying to figure out, for those that have the ham radios, it'd be, and as I mentioned before, it'd be good to try to figure out a line of communication, just for the sake of, because we are all of like minds. And so, say for example, power goes out, grid goes down, internet goes down. We need to come up. I wouldn't mind, for those that might have any experience with these type of devices here. Let's come up with a single line of a channel rather, that, because this thing has I don't know, buku channels and frequencies and waves and all types of stuff. So I don't really know it that well. But I wouldn't mind coming up with a frequency where perhaps power goes out, grid goes down. The RTD community can still connect from around the country on the radio. So that'd be good to keep everyone informed and plugged in. So if anybody got any experience with that, feel free to make some suggestions. Cannabis can be used as a currency. Very true. Games. You smoke weed? No, I do not. Mercury Dimes. You got to have license if you go many miles. You got to have a license if you go many miles. Yeah, that's true. But yet, Tony, if stuff hits the fan, I'm not, I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. If stuff hits the fan, yeah, I really can, I'm gonna leave it at that. Land without restrictions, gas, backup generator. Okay, so that's the stuff on the list. So out of all that, it looks like everybody. So seeds was on the list. Yep. Body armor. Okay, I've seen a couple of preppers, strapped up with bulletproof vests and stuff like that. I'm thinking like, man, y'all, you plan on having a shootout, and that's a little different, man. Argoson Farms 25-year buckets, definitely. Portable toilet, a 5-gallon solar powered shower. 5-gallon solar powered shower. Okay, get it at Walmart. Okay, that is definitely something I've never heard of. Mobile propane grill, definitely. Tent or portable shelter. I do need a generator. Guns and ammo. Okay, so for those tuning in, man, I want to just throw this out here because I thought this is just a basic list, but yet the reason this was even brought up was because Mike Snyder, who I had on the show a while ago, I reached out to him, and he's no longer really doing video work, but just doing a lot of writing. And I came across this article and thought it was interesting. I wanted to bring it out and just put it before you guys to find out, what are some things we can add to it. So the list basically had a lot of canned goods and a lot of food items, and it had a couple things sprinkled throughout of just some necessities. And so stuff that's good to have if you don't, just so you don't be left without. And what else? So yeah, okay. So with that being the case, that's just the first article there. Let me move on. So I just want to check in with you with that article there, and then anybody watching and catching in late, you can get caught up with us later. Fishing poles, firewood. I'm not going anywhere. This is Alamo Mission. Okay, main battle tank. Okay, fishing gear, survival book. Yeah, survival book definitely would come in handy because us city boys or city folk, we don't know nothing about outdoor living and surviving out in the wilderness, where how we got to catch and kill, we eat with your hands. Some supplements like Colonial Silver, definitely. NATO gas masks. Okay, Rolf, where you get those from? Let me know. They got them on sale. I'll definitely use some of those. Says, wow, that's a great idea. Might come up with the RTD channel from 2A radio. So yeah, so the 2A radio, I think that'd be good. I definitely would like to entertain that idea. And then Tony mentioned about, heard about having a license to really do long distance, but once again, stuff hits the fan. I don't think there'll be any enforcement of that type of things there. Learn new skills, books, seeds, petrol. Okay, petrol. See from styrofoam to make napalm, empty bottles. If Rolf, you talking about going to war, my friend, sounds like you got some military background or something, or you went to one of them terrorist camps and helping out Al Qaeda or something like that, man. You connect with hunters for meat. Yeah, winners will be coming soon enough. The End of the World as We Know It by James Rawls. Okay, James Rawls. Nope, I didn't reach out to him. Okay, so that's just some preparatory type thing. I want to get out there, get your guys' thoughts. So there's definitely a lot of good ideas out there. Shooter's Bible, a map. Yeah, ham radio. I talked about that. And okay, so let's keep moving right along. Okay, so I got a lot of things here I want to touch on. And so, of course, we'll get to silver, we get to metals. And so I wanted to actually, something I found to be very interesting. I'm going to touch on it briefly, but I actually watched Biden, his little speech thingy he gave earlier, and his plan of build back better. Okay, so I got the gist of what his build back better, and I'm thinking like BBB. I'm thinking like, he didn't come up with that, but I'm thinking like, is that, of course you got Make America Great Again or Great Again, whatever, and you got Build Better Back. And I'm thinking after listening to both of those campaign models and slogans, Make America Great Again, Build Back Better, everything is centered around the government. Everything that was thrown out by this guy, knowing dang well that it is not his plan. I'm more than convinced that this guy he won't be around much longer to actually, be able to continue to run for presidency. But yet, Build Back Better. He got his three points I'm gonna touch on in a second. But it's well, yeah, I'm gonna share it. Low blood pressure says he says inflatable wife in case real one is pregnant again. Okay, so I'm assuming that's something to have in your emergency bag or something like that. Okay, man. So yeah, I'm not. Yeah, those aren't my. Yeah, I'm not really too pressed about the inflatable. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's something you got to be concerned with. Low blood pressure moving forward. Stuff hits the fan. You might have to slow your roll down, man, and let your wife have a break or something, man. For real, I would love to speak to her and how she feel about all this, future planning of having 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, man. All right, but what was I saying? Okay, appreciate the love offering as well. Okay, so basically, just 3 premises: build back better. And I'm listening to him speak, and of course, his monitor is right here to his right where he's looking at. And basically, his three foundational principles in a nutshell. First one was globalization. Ultimately, what he was saying was Trump was trying to do away from globalization. He's talking about doing more globalization, and it will not hinder American jobs. And something about it's going to help accelerate made in America and manufacturing back here, and help strengthen our unions. I'm thinking like, huh? Like, okay, how does globalization open up everything that we've done already, even more gonna help made in America, but whatever. So first one was basically globalization. The second one, it was energy, clean energy, going clean, basically the new Green Deal was 2. And so I'm thinking like, okay, that's that, $100 trillion plan that AOC probably threw out there. So that's probably her sprinkled in there, as well as the overall agenda. And then 3 was his desire to further expand government to create more affordable care for care workers. He was really trying to play the sympathy card on how the economy's, causing problems for everybody and the senior citizens, and want to provide health care, daycare, increased wages for workers on the front line. I'm thinking like where's all this coming from? He kept talking about jobs. I'm thinking like, wow, like, the fact that government is supposed to be the primary provider of jobs at the same time trying to be our daddy and our mama. That's a big problem. That's why this government is the way we are now. So that's basically his 3 foundational principles he's running upon with build back better. So between make America great again and build back better, this is what they have given us, man. And all of it has to do with more spending, more debt, and bigger government and less rights and everything else. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. We'll touch on this as well as whatever else. Got a couple more articles, and then we can go from there. But even during this little speech here, he had a hiccup where he was talking and he was, he switched around some sentences. So either his people who wrote the script on the monitor got his sentences wrong or something, but he flip-flopped and tried to catch himself. And I saw some commentator talking about he had a mild stroke in the midst of his little speech there. And I'm not going to joke about his health because we all kind of know that, he's up in age and not all there. But so, yeah, I'm more than convinced that there's going to be some issues where he won't be there. And then also listening to Dave on X22 report. So I actually had a chance earlier to listen to his most recent one. And Nancy Pelosi, according to what she's mentioned about her being in a position to where she is, if something was to happen this upcoming fall or winter, then she would fall in line to be the next commander-in-chief type of thing. So it's like, okay, why would you even mention that unless, there were some plans that you had or were going to be working towards so that there would not be another President Trump in the White House come next election. But enough of me ranting. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey there, Mike. It's Pabar from Seattle.
Pabar, how you doing, my friend? What's on your mind tonight?
Not really. What I'm about to bring up is it's not getting too deep philosophically. Mm-hmm. It's just I wanted to, I guess, say to the chat and whoever's watching, when you have focus on your own mental health also, mm-hmm. In regards to people around you. Mm-hmm. Think about the people you hang around, whether it's your community, whether it's people in your life, whether it's the place that you work at or the friends that you keep, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Take the time also going forward in life to notice how you manage and deal and hang around with these people, because sometimes you'll find that other people are bringing you down. I'm just speaking mentally and, verbally and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so that's often a forgotten aspect that people tend to forget in this modernized world is their own happiness or their own mentality as far as, in this regard. So I just wanted to bring that up to the chat as a reminder.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate you for chiming in on that. And so, and that's another thing that was on my mind the other day as well. It's just like, given the circumstances, given the added weight and pressures that's placed upon families, individuals, or whatever. And so just mental health, spiritual health, physical health, those three aspects to me is something I've been a little bit more conscious of now, given the circumstances we're all up against. So in regards to, being conscious of your own environment, your own health as well, and others around you, definitely is something worth considering right now. Because, the first thing came to mind is a lot of people out there are suffering from depression or whatever to where, and so it's one thing to be focused on yourself, but then also being conscious of other people and trying to be a blessing to them as well. So appreciate you for sharing those thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, and keep up the good work, Mike. So you guys, you have a good day, okay?
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Alrighty, bye.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. 3 elements that we cannot take for granted: our well-being, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. Because, we're up against some things that most of us have never experienced, or majority of us never experienced it to the in the totality as it's being thrown at us. Hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike. It's low blood pressure. Corpus Christi. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, my friend. How you doing?
I'm excited. Hey, did you see what I wrote? Did you put one of those in your toolkit?
About the inflatable dial. Yeah, I saw
you never know, Mike. You just gotta be careful and wear protection because they'll get pregnant. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, so man, not everybody is out there gunning and shooting to continue to do that at the speed that you are, my friend. So a lot of people are not even thinking of that. So that's a good tool for some people to have. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody needs it. Everybody gets lonely. Hey, let me tell you something. That last caller, that gentleman that was on the phone, it's he's talking about mental health. It's true, but right now it's the most exciting time of my life. Silver's at 22. Biden's gonna finish the dollar, and then Trump's gonna print away. I love it. I secretly want Biden to win, Mike. I secretly want him to win. I don't tell nobody that,
Why?
But I want him to destroy the dollar. I'm sick of it.
It's going to be destroyed anyway. Like, it's already been weaponized, so it's already going nuclear. Like, the Federal Reserve is going to destroy themselves, so it doesn't matter who wins technically because it's going that way. It's like the purchasing power of the dollar will never appreciate again because that's deflationary and that's not what the bankers want. So. Yeah, it's coming regardless.
But it's like this, Mike.
Yeah.
Trump, he's using an electrical fuse, with the switch.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm sorry. Biden is
yeah.
using an electrical fuse, and Trump's using like the old school fuses, that you light at the end.
Yeah.
It's taking too long. I'm getting tired of the wait, but it's finally here, Mike.
Hey, man, be patient, man, because this what we're experiencing now, as I mentioned before, it's a decade-long event. So this is like what's going on now is not, we're only 4 months into it. We still got, God forbid, several years of this type of manipulation, deception, and lying and all that stuff. So
no, Mike, we've been waiting since 2008. We need it now. I'm impatient.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling, man. Good to hear from you.
All right, you too. Don't forget the toolkit, all right?
I won't, my man. Be good.
All right, bye.
Yeah, be good. Oh, man. Good stuff, man. Yeah. So, all right, man. Let's talk. Give me a call. Phone lines are open. I want to hear from you guys. And so, we'll get to, I'm trying to cover as much as possible. I'm trying to rant less, but yet here's just more information here. So he's talking about the dollar. And so right now, of course, I never follow the Dixie and the International Federal Reserve note as far as the 6 currency that trade in the basket of the top G20, top G10 nations. But here's an article I thought you guys would find interesting. So plays right into what low blood pressure was talking about the dollar. So it says U.S. dollar is getting punched in the mouth, and its outlook amid its current situation doesn't look great, some experts say. So in reading through this article, I thought this picture was kind of interesting as well. So to beat up George, but George would have been rolled over in his grave 100,000 times, seeing how they didn't they've used George Washington as the front man or the face of this privately issued currency right here that's to completely destroy humanity. But anyway, so it talks about how basically because of what the Federal Reserve is doing and their response, it's really not ensuring confidence in the future role of the dollar. And so you got the European situation. Just think today, the European Union passed a $740 billion stimulus package or something, which, you know, made the markets do that relatively well in Europe. So it looks like it's no longer really a flight from Europe into the dollar. So the dollar is not as sought after, according to what this gentleman here is mentioning. And so therefore it's weakening. Therefore, that's right along with, you know, what they want anyway, a weaker dollar. So it's more favorable for what Trump wants to do. So, you know, are you surprised? But the dollar is not looking too strong right now, but, you know, more bad news to come. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike O'Daniel from Kansas City. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good, my friend. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, Mike, I'll just call about that coin shortage, man. I'm on a road trip. I head to South Carolina, heading back to Kansas City, Mike. And every gas station that I stop at, they all got signs says, hey, you know, please have exact change because we ain't got no coins or nothing. So I'm like, man, this coin thing is real. Yeah. And I even said to one of the guys when I went to cash out, I was like, man, I'm like, you guys are essential workers, right? But those guys at the mint ain't essential. He was like, yeah, man. I'm like, that's crazy, though, right? I'm like, this is how they gonna usher in that cashless system. And he kind of looked at me like weird. They're like, huh? I'm like, yeah. So
caught him off guard, man. Yeah, that's interesting, man. And so one thing I realized, I've seen more people talking about, you know, bring in your coins. So banks are requesting them from the people. So they're trying to actually get them out of our hands, because from what I remember years ago, whenever coins are collected at banks themselves, they always usually send them in, and they're usually stored either at the mint or at the Fed or whatever as a part of the whole money supply system itself. So the Federal Reserve or whoever is already sitting on a gang of coins, and they're calling it a shortage, trying to get us to get rid of our last little bit to supply the market. So all these stores, they're taking our last little bit of coins, trying to get them out of our hands so that they'll be gone. Then that'll create the opportunity for them to then say paper next or whatever. So the coins have deliberately been withheld during this situation so they can get the remaining out of our possession. So that's my personal opinion.
yeah.
So
I like that.
So it's one of the things where, you know, whatever coins you're sitting on, the content of the metal itself will probably end up being of value. So you might not really want to do business with those things right now, just because stuff hits the fan. They may be barterable. Like we can, you know, still, you know, come together with 4 quarters and give it to somebody and actually be able to do business without doing it through the banking sector or the commercial bank. So just a little thought, man.
Yeah, I got a couple buckets that I've been throwing some extra coins in.
Yeah.
For probably like over 3 or 4 years now for my kids.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, we got those. We can work with those, you know, and barter with those if stuff hit the fan, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you calling and keeping us up to date with what you're saying, my friend.
Yeah, like I wish I had taken that strategy from low blood pressure, use my credit card and bought all them silver coins. I'll be good right now.
Well, hey, my man, like we've seen 2 days or a couple of days of promising activity moving upward, but yet once again, it's just the beginning. It hasn't even started yet. That's why I'm not, like I mentioned, not overly excited, because, you know, it still once to take out the previous all-time highs, then at that point we can start, you know, feeling a lot better. But in the meantime, we still can see some type of manipulation. I wouldn't, you know, things are happening. It's too good to be true right now. So that's why I'm not sold 100%.
I'm gonna let this credit card start working, Mike. Right now, I'm gonna let it start working.
I hear you, my man. Have fun with it. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Mike.
Thanks. Oh man, yeah, good stuff, man. Appreciate the call. Yeah, coinage, man. Like, you know, coinage. It really hit me. Our coins, whatever coins you're sitting on, will be of value down the line. So you might want to keep hold of them, just because I think once they get out of our hands, whatever we're sitting on, then that's all she wrote come coinage wise, because I would imagine the Federal Reserve, as they told us, they're trying to crank up production. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they're trying to crank up production for the coins at the same time that, let me give you another article right here. At the same time that they're trying to roll out the Fed accounts, which is basically the digital transformation or the next payment system or the next banking model that they're also trying to bring us in under, which is us eventually banking directly with the Fed. And so, yeah, okay, sure. But anyway, so here's an article I wanted to throw out there real quick. It said Fed accounts for all with automatic and recurring payments triggered by the economic crisis. So Fed accounts is simply a program they came up with or reintroduced to us, I think it was a year or two ago, well before this, but it has to do with us, the citizens, basically banking directly with the Fed. So we'll have an account or something like that directly on a computer, just being controlled by their servers or whatnot in their system, and it'll probably be rebranded as a digital dollar on the new payment method that they're doing through the bank. So basically, it's just a bank account, but it's no longer at the commercial banks, because all the commercial banks will probably go belly up. And because think about this. At this current point, barring some type of disruption or rebranding, so I've been reading up or on the NERSA and JERSA, the new economic stimulus, whatever package, whatever. So apart from there being a complete overhaul of our financial monetary system, as of now, if things play out the way that we're being steered towards, this next payment mechanism will come through the Federal Reserve, because as we're witnessing with the too big to fail banks, they're basically about to have some issues real soon. All the retail and commercial banks in your neighborhood will close down, because commercial banking, retail, and all that stuff is going to be gone. And so there will actually, the too big to fail banks, the ones that pretty much oversee our current financial system as we know it, they're going to be consolidated until one or two entities, or they no longer really need to be in business at the level they're at now, because they're already shareholders in the Federal Reserve. So no matter what, the primary shareholders of the too big to fail banks will be rewarded for being shareholders in the Federal Reserve themselves if the Federal Reserve remains intact. Therefore, it's a win-win for the banks. So they really don't need to have employees no more. They really don't have to be even operating, because they're getting paid off just being in the Fed, if the Fed is still around. All bets are off if Trump does something with the Fed and goes into the Treasury. All bets are off. Anyway, hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland.
How you doing, Tony? What's the about, my friend?
Man, I tried to put it in the chat, and it looks like you passed me over. Type in HR 6154.
All right, give me 1 second. HR 6154. All right. All righty. HR 6154. Cryptocurrency Act. Okay, what we got here? Okay. So this is something, Cryptocurrency Act of 2020. It says, let me see if there's any more information.
Look at the date bill was introduced.
Let me see here. There's a give 80. Let me go. One second. Amendments, actions, whatever. In March. So it was introduced in March. Okay. So yeah, introduce. Okay, March 9th, 2020. Introduced in the House. All right.
When did we?
Say that again?
When did we shut down?
In March. So literally, was it the 13th? The 13th, 14th became the national emergency shutdown type stuff. So literally, that's the same week. They shut things down. They put this in there. So let me see what's in it. So here's a little text here. I can try to thumb through it briefly. But if you had a chance to read it, what did you see, or what stood out other than Cryptocurrency Act?
Right now, it's just in the beginning stage, but you know how they have things always in line for when actually things happen. Then they all of a sudden you get a bill and say, "Oh, where'd that come from?" And we don't know, but they've had it the whole time. And they got a bill for masks. Even I was running through their pages, and they got a bill for masks that they're going to pay 100% on. It just all you have to do is ask for it. We'll give it out. But this is all stuff that looks like it's coming down the pipe, and they have it ready for whenever it's time to go with it.
Okay. So I appreciate you for bringing this to my attention. I don't think I've come across this one, but I'm going to read through a little bit and just, shine a little more light on this. So thanks for calling in and letting us know about this one.
All right. And tell Little Brusher the chain comes first.
The chain comes first?
Yeah, before the doll, the chain comes first.
Yeah, definitely. All right, my man.
All right, bro. Keep it up.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. All right, so this is interesting, man. So once again, HR 6154 about cryptocurrencies. And so it just, defines a couple things here. So it says cryptocurrencies, the term cryptocurrency means representations of United States currency or synthetic derivatives resting on a blockchain or decentralized cryptographic ledger. It says subrepresented derivatives in terms of crypto means all debts and equity that rest on blockchain, whatever. So it says decentralized crypto ledger. Let me see, digital Oracle, digital asset. Term digital asset means the cryptocurrency, crypto asset. Okay, so clearly, without even, they're trying to define some things here. So I'm assuming within here, if I was to read further, it would definitely dive further into how United States government wants to either ban, restrict, or suppress cryptocurrency as it's being offered, decentralized, and probably promote the use of the centralized through, it says here, is operated as is registered with the Department of Treasury as a money services business. So crypto security. So interesting. So once again, it's always good to find out what the original game plan was as it's being rolled out to us, because none of this is new. This is all part of the original game plan. Now it's a matter of who's going to issue it and how will it impact our lives, because whatever's coming next will be centrally controlled, and it will come with restrictions and hindrances. But anyway, phone lines are open. Give me a call. Let's talk. Okay, so let me get back in the chat here. I see a lot of Mike. I see a lot of good thoughts here. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving. Let me see. All right. Winnie the Pooh says, what about HR 5404, the U.S. gold standard? Okay, so let me touch on that. And so, when it comes to the gold standard, I would never hold my breath on waiting on something like that, just because, the governments in general will not, I don't think. Excuse me. So I'll actually look this out, put this on the screen here. So in my personal opinion, I don't think this will gain traction. So HR 504, it says to define the dollar as fixed weight of gold. Okay, so let me click on this. Okay, so Representative Mooney, he's done some things before. He's thrown out a lot of things, but nothing ever sticks. But it was introduced in March as well. Good stuff. 322. The bill requires the Department of Treasury to define the dollar in terms of a fixed weight of gold based on the day's closing market price of gold. The Federal Reserve shall make Federal Reserve notes exchangeable with gold at a statutory gold definition of the dollar. Okay, so basically, he wants to undo the Nixon window that was closed, was it 49 years ago? Okay. And so that sounds good, but once again, it's going to be out there, and it will not get any co-sponsors, as we see here. Like, this is just something that he threw out there, him and Alexander from West Virginia. It will not get any traction. Would I want to see some traction? Sure, but yet, given the environment we're in now with the push and everybody wanting to go digital, that's why I don't see anything really jumping off. So that's why it's up to you personally to create your own standard of how you're going to transact your financial and monetary situation. And of course, we all know here, get your weight up, get heavy, get physical. Okay, Judy Shelton. Okay, definitely. I saw that today. Let me see. I got an article, I think. I do not. Okay, so Judy Shelton, who's Trump nominee, she was considered a gold bug. Mind you, I'm not holding my breath as well, because not everybody, but a good portion, in order to be a part of the Federal Reserve, they all know the historical nature of gold. But yet, once you sign your contract to then come on board the FOMC or become a governor or whatever, you all of a sudden have to deny and turn your back against that, because that's not a part of the Federal Reserve plan. So I don't think she's going to go in there and just, turn stuff inside out, because I don't think she's going to be the chairwoman. She's going to be a governor board. So she'll be in the FOMC meetings more than likely, and she'll be one of the, I think it's how many, 12 or 18, how many ever people in there. And even if she suggests something gold related, she's going to be outvoted. So, unless there's a greater plan, you got the QAnon, crowd, of which I'll share that with you as well, because obviously QAnon is getting a little, even, that movement has been pissing some people off. And so as of now, Twitter has banned and removed all types of large accounts, 7,000 accounts, roughly 150,000 accounts worldwide will be affected by the change. More than 7,000 affiliate accounts have already been removed from Twitter. So, QAnon, the powers that be don't like QAnon talking much, so they're trying to quiet up the QAnon crowd. So could that be good? I don't know. Is that something that we should okay, now QAnon, he really is a part of helping the white coats and the good guys, whatever. So don't know. It says, Winnie Pooh says, do you think they're putting all of these options out there just in case where the chips may land? Thank you for the super chat as well. Right now, my personal opinion is we're being thrown all types of things, and it's hard to truly decipher a truth from a lie outside of as I started this video off with talking about what are we, what am I going to be doing for myself first? Not waiting on anything or anybody to create a standard for me. Create your own standard, create your own everything. And then pray for the best. Pray and hope that, God is literally steering the hearts of those that are supposed to be the good guys behind all this to where they are doing some things that will be good for humanity. But I'm not going to sit around and wait on that to happen just because I don't really have any confidence in man that there's one individual or a group of individuals that can make the type of change that's needed, because this world is just a cesspool of just sin and just evil. And it's only one savior, Jesus Christ. So yeah, okay. But as far as putting out these options out there, just chips may land, sure, we can say that. But all along, we got more than enough information that let us know how divided this country is right now between what is becoming the radical left and the questionable right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just my thoughts, man. I could be wrong as always. So just let me know. Let me know what you guys think. And we'll keep moving. So Barlight Bro says Q is BS, Q is PSYOP, COVID is PSYOP too, Jugar. Okay, so that's another thing. So real, fake, who knows? It's done a great job of distracting us and keeping us all on our toes because nobody knows anything other than, as of today, silver made a decent move, so we could touch on that. But what I found interesting about silver's move over the last couple of days or whatever is the fact that in all currencies, I've been looking at this right here. So I'm at silverprice.org. So I've been looking at the pricing of silver in a variety of currencies. So I've been looking at Europe and Australia, of course. Silver's been all-time highs there relatively for quite some time now. But I've been looking around the world and seeing how price of silver has always been lagging behind the movement of gold. And so clearly gold has done some good things, caught a lot of attention. There's, of course, a war behind the scenes of actually getting physical. All the paper stuff is unraveling right now. And so that's why we have, the JP Morgan situation. And, from what I've gathered from listening to Craig Hemke and all those guys that, they're now at the risk of losing all their physical stash. They're, I think it's, 9-digit amount of silver. Instead of continuing to take losses, trying to short it, they're going long now, just saying, hey, I'm not going to let go of my stash. I'm going to let this thing ride out. So that's kind of what we're seeing now. But Serena says, Basel III and Basel IV compliance call for asset gold-backed currency throughout the Western banking system. Q is a scam. Buy the RV is real. Buy the real is real. So, okay. So if that's the case, so definitely. So as we see, gold and silver are a part of somebody's plans. And definitely, I'm assuming it's a part of your plan as well. So therefore, you've created your own standard. And so, what I was saying was, so here we got some activity right here. So here we got silver, and just look at, what has happened since $11 on March 18th, 19th. But of course, no one was able to actually acquire physical possession for $11. I think at that time, I remember talking about it was, I think I may have gotten some rounds for 1770. I think 1770. I got some generic rounds on this day or around this time frame here. So that was a $7 premium. And so here we are today, 22 as of right now. It just shot up 22.78. So according to here, we could easily be at $23. But I heard when Asia opened up a couple of hours ago, it really took off to 22. So we could easily, as I mentioned last night, when you look at a world that's loaded with paper and digits, and there's no way of discovering true value, we could easily, see $30 or more by the end of this week, or it could be slammed down somehow, some way, back to, 15, 16. But because of the premiums, you're still gonna pay $30 for per ounce. Winnie the Pooh says, "What are your thoughts about the BRICS system versus the SWIFT system? What are your take on my country nationalizing our banks?" Okay, so it looks like we have someone in Asia. Okay, so the BRICS. I believe the BRICS was initially established as a strategic way of de-dollarizing. And so it's Russia and China, definitely India and South Africa. Apart from this current health situation that's been we've all been confronted with, I still believe that they are still in the business of de-dollarizing their economies, but they're going digital. But yet they're still getting their gold up for international government way of ensuring themselves against their own central bank policies. And so they're going to give the people digital currencies, and they're going to still say physical. And so definitely the SWIFT is good as going to be unraveled within this next couple of months, if not years, because you guys have the chips. So you have the Chinese international banking, whatever it is, I don't know but it's the chips. Then Russia has their own payment method that has connected with. So China and Russia right now, their blockchains, whatever, are interconnected, so they can do business without the SWIFT. So that's not really a big deal. So in the meantime, I think that SWIFT will be faded out because every nation will eventually have to do business with whatever's leading the way, and gold will lead the way. So whoever got the most gold make the decisions. China will more than likely be making those decisions. We'll see. And as far as nationalizing your banks, you guys are internally having a heck of a lot of problems because of the creation of currency, and there's no real demand for the currency. So once again, the government is going to do more of that, and therefore is going to cause an implosion of your banking sector because you have a closed market. So there's no real way of releasing the valve on all that currency creation to prop up your economy to let it spew out to the world. So it's going to be an internal implosion, in my opinion. Yeah, all that in a nutshell. So that's just my opinion, man. But I'm curious to find out what you guys think. Let me know. Give me a call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Baby Moneybag.
Baby Moneybag.
How you doing?
I'm good, my man. What's on your mind tonight?
I just got a weird feeling about it. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
I heard you touched on something about, the world's full of sin and stuff. You're right about that. Now, since the pandemic has been going on, when has the Pope addressed the nation for faith and encouragement?
I would say he has not, or it has not been nationally televised. But I'm sure I've heard he's going around giving some speeches on some like we need to all come together, all religions and all. So it's been very universal in nature, whatever he said. But I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, little briefings here and there, but we talking about the man that's supposed to be the man of God. I'm talking about a nationwide address. You address the whole nation when it came to what is it? That solar, the crap. What is it?
Drawing a blank myself. I don't know.
It's gonna come to me when it came to global warming. Yeah, he addressed it then. He wrote a whole speech about that. But when it comes to a worldwide pandemic, he has nothing to say. The cameras are hidden.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, man. Like there's the Vatican and just Catholicism as it's been portrayed for the last several centuries, or definitely centuries for sure. Yeah, Satan's using that. He's using that for his own purposes. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the kingdom of God, in my personal opinion. far
I just
from it.
wanted to raise the eyebrow. That's about it, boss.
Hey, man, I appreciate you calling, boss.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, man. Appreciate the call. As always, give me a call. Let's talk. As well, if you guys have enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to hit that button beneath. Just hit a little thumbs up. Show your support for the channel. And invite some friends out here. Let's just discuss these things. We got a lot of things going on, my friends. Super chat I did miss. I apologize for that. Let me find it and go back and address that one. Okay. Winnie the Pooh, I appreciate that. It says, interesting. Have you heard about the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset? Can you Google it and Google it with us and review? Okay. Yeah. So I talked about the Great Reset, and it's the televised. They're going to do a televised broadcast and incorporate the millennial generation and younger to help to encourage and to basically televise how exactly they're going to change the world socially, spiritually, emotionally, you name it. Every avenue of our life, they have a plan. And so I think in January, they're going to have everything's going to be televised. And that's how bold they are, to where they're going to come out and basically tell us outright what they want to do to humanity. And so I'll put this up here. We've talked about this before, but it's just the globalist agenda publicized outright in front of us. And they're trying to basically just say that we have everything under control. Don't worry, just surrender, and we'll take care of the rest. So, yeah, it's a globalist agenda, man. This is, these are orchestrators of this current charade we're in now. It's all governments conspiring against the people, ultimately. So, new monetary system incorporated, new health system. This is the door opener towards the one world government mechanism that they have in the works. So here just from this page, you can see vaccine, the future, reinventing the future, Israel, coronavirus. We got the pandemic. So they're highlighting the very problems they created, and they're offering us the solutions. And it starts with this vial right here. This is what is going to be a major part of what they want to roll out. So that's the Great Reset. And it so happens to be that they're going to try to come together with some type of one world agenda. And we kind of know where that's taking us, which is what it's biblical in nature. It's biblical prophecy. So it's going to occur. It's one of the things where we can resist as much as we want, but it's inevitable because from a spiritual standpoint, it's already transpired. We're just getting a chance to now live it. So, but those are in Christ are on the winning side. So, yeah. Anyway, missed a couple calls. Appreciate the love offer, my friend. Hope that was something worth talking about. And we'll keep the party moving. I thank you for checking in with us. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Mike, been watching your show for a while, man. This is Joe. How's it going?
I'm doing good, my friend. What's in your mind?
Doing good, man. Just got a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
So, what are your thoughts on bail-in possibilities here in the U.S.? And what are your thoughts on XRP? And I'll take my answer off the line.
Okay.
Thanks, bro.
Sounds good, my man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, bail-ins. So, bail-ins are a part of the plan. It's going to be used as an emergency measure if it gets to that, because within the next couple months, weeks, we're going to see a banking meltdown, crisis, whatever, because of, you got to imagine all the debts are about to implode. If people are not working, people are not paying their debts, even the commercial real estate, collateral, the CLOs are going to go belly up. So you name it. It's about to be a meltdown. So where's the capital? It happens to be in the depositors. So right now, it so happens that not only have the central banks been bailing out their commercial banks by financing them to help cover up some of those losses, they've moved capital restrictions off of banks so that you no longer have to have actual capital physically for depositors to come in and get anymore. So it's good to say the bail-in has already started, because right now, if everybody really decided to go down to their commercial banks to get cash, they don't have it. And it's like they don't have to have it. So they can probably give you an excuse to say, give us some time, we'll get it to you. And so it'll be much harder now to get your cash out than it was before March 28th, before they made that emergency measurement. So bail-ins are baked into the cake. It's a part of Dodd-Frank Act. Dodd-Frank. So it's in the Dodd-Frank Act, which was passed right after the last great crisis. And actually, like years ago, I actually read it out loud. So let me put this on the screen. So within the actual Dodd-Frank Act, if you go in one of the sections, subtitles, whatever, it says how they're going to allow the FDIC to resolve the issues if there's a capital issue in the banking sector. So let me see if I can find it. Banking is like a banking resolution. How? So it's legal to do. It's legal to do. It's been approved. They signed off on it. It's there waiting to be used if need be. It's an emergency measure. So it's just a matter of, at this point, we're at the mercy of whatever they want to throw at us in regards to how they choose to unwind and resolve the current debt situation we have. So it is very likely that everybody will not be able to receive their funds back, no matter what, whether it's a bail-in or the banks go under because of whatever. So if you have a large amount of currency in the bank, it's not yours in the first place. You've already lent it to the bank, and they're not even giving you interest on it now. So the risk falls on you. So it is possible. Yes, it will happen. It is legal. They can do it because you signed off on it. The moment you set up your bank account, by you turning your cash over, you are in compliance with whatever they throw at you. And Dodd-Frank is something they threw at you. So yes, it is possible, and it's more than likely going to happen. And so, yes, I hope that was the answer to your question. And I forgot what other question. And you said some more XRP. So XRP, I personally, I'm not a fan of it just because it's put out there as a tool for the commercial banks and the central banks possibly to use until they develop their own centralized ledgers, which might be on XRP. But I got a feeling that as of right now, they might end up using something either their own in an emergency sense, which will be flawed, or they're going to jump on whatever's hot. And it so happens to be Ethereum might be what they want to use, especially if we get to Ethereum 2.0, where that's going to be a little bit more feasible for them to use if we get to that. So XRP is a banker's coin. It's for the banks. And so, sure, I think you could participate in it and get some gains going up. But yet, once again, it wasn't designed for the people to prosper off of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be some issues with trying to get out of it and to cash out and to, enjoy the gains on that. So that's just my 2 cents there. All right, let me get another call here. Let me get this here. 1 second. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Vince, how you doing, my man?
Good, man. Calling from Florida.
Yes, sir. What's good down there?
Hanging in down here. Hey, man, just touching base. I know last night I had a couple questions about how most of the banks are shorting, silver. And I know that some of those shorts were released. And so the last thing I heard off of Big Swear's channel was that JP Morgan Chase, they actually are now in the long position.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if you could kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
Okay. So from what I've gathered, and I think it was Craig Hemke, I think last week on Greg Hunter show, I listened to that. So definitely he dropped a lot of knowledge on all that paper stuff works. But basically going from short to long is basically saying they're not going to try to further manipulate the markets and profit off the little bit of spreads that equals millions for them, because there's more people looking to get physical. So there's more people actually coming to actually, cash in some of those contracts and get their physical weight out of the depositories. So what they're doing is, instead of losing their stash, their pile, because they're apparently the biggest holders, they're going to say, hey, skip that delivery. Now we're going to stop manipulating up front, let this thing go long, and we just going to enjoy the ride up because we got the largest, wad of silver anyway. So I think they're going to they're losing control of being able to manipulate those futures contracts, because people want physical now. Like, they're no longer settling for the paper, and there's a shortage of supply to deliver to all those contracts. So playing a long game allows them to lessen their need to come out of their own stash, and it allows them to enjoy the ride up. So that's why I think he even Big Swear mentioned about this thing could take off and go to wherever, because they're going to enjoy the ride up as well. So it's a win-win for them regardless, because they've done a good job of using this time.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Now, silver could be a bank killer, though. So if it starts going crazy, it could start killing off banks.
I don't think they mind, because, as I just hinted at before, because if this Fed accounts come into existence, which it will be, that's going to be the transition anyway. So as we've noticed, since the creation of the Federal Reserve, we went from maybe 30 to 40,000 banks down to 7.
Right.
Too big to fail banks, and now it's time to let them go under, which is cool because they're still shareholders in the Federal Reserve, so they're still going to win at the end. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and maybe State Bank or something like that might be the last 3 standing. So from 40,000 100 years ago down to 1 or 2 sounds like a good game plan, because you still have all the silver in the world on your books, on your bank, in your vaults, and you got leading shareholder in the Federal Reserve. So no matter what, you're still in control overall. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Right now it's like more like when, right? Because they want this big, the new Green Deal, if you think about it. Like that's what the last caller was talking about, like the Pope and all of Europe, and basically, all the, the scholars, the students who are all brainwashed into thinking that, we're causing so many carbon emissions. It's really just a Luciferian, sale that, we need to hate ourselves and depend on them. So, I mean, we're awoke, we know what's going on. But now what's crazy though is that I just started getting into solar, selling it, but what I'm seeing is that there's a major conflict here because I'm a major silver investor, and if silver goes crazy, then well, first of all, the banks are going to start closing, but you know, another thing is silver is like a byproduct of solar. Solar and silver are like one, you know, and so the price of that is going to go crazy. And if they want to do a green deal and the price of silver is 100, 200, 300, 400 an ounce, like inflation's just going to set in. And then there's no doubt that there's going to have to be some kind of new world reserve here, like very soon. You know, I mean, there's got to be a timetable of when.
Yeah, I agree.
It's got to be within a year.
Yeah, I would agree. And also, you know, I've heard a lot of people talk about this this new form of energy and all this new technology that's coming out, which I would imagine would play a lot into the, you know, the solar realm or whatever. So perhaps they may even have some type of panels or something out there that is like, what was it, the 0 point energy or something like. So there's all types of things that we don't know about yet. And apparently I saw something about, you know, a lot of people think that Trump is, you know, going to reveal some things from the, you know, deep files in the basement type of things to show what's been hidden. So we could see some new energy sources which would counteract that need for solar if they, you know, whatever. So, but yet silver is needed for all technology in general. So if it's some type of technology gadget, silver is needed. So that right there creates a hell of a demand, more than gold, I think.
What do you think, though? Do you think there's going to be a basket of currencies, like I forget what they call that? The new, it's the other reserve currency,
the SDR,
where it's backed by like, yeah. Do you think that's what we're going to see? Like, I mean, you know, like when?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what we're going to see, and when? Is my final question.
I think that I don't right now. It's just a matter. Will governments work together during this current crisis that was intentionally put here, or will they use this as a way to divide themselves and go their own way? So I think the initial plan is to have a basket. But it's going to be hard to see who's going to be the majority in the basket because there's never been an equal share of power globally because greed just doesn't allow you to do that. So the U.S. is not going to give up their 57% of the SDR right now. So they're going to try to do whatever. So it's going to be some war type stuff behind that. So I don't know. I wouldn't know I wouldn't begin to know. But
one more thing.
Yeah.
I've heard this concept before. It's going to be, okay, the Internet of Things, and nobody's really going to have to earn any kind of money. But how would that even happen? You know, and that's more like, that's got to be in like 20 years, 10, 20 years, if we get there. You know, where no one's got to work, where, you know, it's this utopian, like, just one world craziness.
Yeah, so I think we're going to definitely see that this decade because as a result of all these businesses shutting down, a lot of people will no longer be needed. So if it's not a specialized skill set that offers value to somebody, or if you're not deploying your gifts directly, you won't be needed. Therefore, the universal basic income will be used to help those people out. Robotics will be rolled in, automation will be rolled in at the highest level possible because they just want consumers. They don't really want people to produce. So they want you, as long as you can buy stuff and you trade your time or service or skill for consumption.
But what about us? What about us, the people who are kind of thinking ahead? Like, you know, like, honestly, like, we, you know, like, what's his name? Low blood pressure says, like, what about those big stacks or whatever he calls them?
Yeah. So
those big boxes, those monster boxes, like, where are we going to be left when this police state, like, security, you know, surveillance state really starts, you know, taking over? Like, what are we going to be left to do with our monster boxes?
Yeah, I think we're going to be confronted with two roads ahead of us. One's going to take us towards the deep state globalist agenda of, you know, trace them and tag them, you know, minimize housing, minimalistic, you know, you surveillance, smart homes, you know, body chipped, all stuff like that, or the left where there might be some type of outbreak of freedom and liberty. There's some type of, unfortunately, a civil war where we got to realize it's us versus them. We fight for our rights, and then we are able to create our own utopia type of society. I don't know how it's going to play out.
Who fights, though? Who fights in that scenario?
Eventually,
like, is it us? Like, is it civilians with guns, or is it like the army? Like what is that? What is your vision on that? Because let's just say things heat up, and that does happen. who's it going to be? Like, I mean, is it going to be like the cops and us and the civilians and the cops go up against? It's just, that sounds. I feel like there's way too much. I don't know, like, to lose if that starts happening.
Yeah. I wouldn't know where to begin. I just hope that there are some people who are willing to sacrifice their own comforts and low key. And the sad thing is, whatever's coming is going to require bloodshed. You know, one way or another. It's going to be you're going to give it up. You're going to give it up for the tag, or you're going to give it up in a quest for freedom. So that's the unfortunate part, because, you know, either you be taken with your hands behind your back, or you're going to go out in a blaze of glory. Well, you know, however those movies play out. I don't know.
Isn't that crazy, man?
I just think it's just a matter of your faith, man. That's where, like, you know, as I mentioned earlier, getting yourself, you know, spiritually, you know, working on your spiritual health, because, you know, for the believers, man, it's going to come down to what the Lord tells you and what you feel led to do, whether it's fight or give in. I don't know, man. I just want to make sure
Amen.
Yeah.
I know that your listeners and followers are, you know, mostly, you know, spirit-led people, and it's been an awesome run here listening to you and being on this train here with you, moving ahead into some crazy times. You know, so God bless you and your family, and
same to you, Vince.
For everyone else out there, man, God bless everyone out there, and just, you know, keep the faith and put the Lord number one, and keep buying those monster boxes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Vince, my man. Be good.
All right, man.
Yep. Yeah, man. All right. So, man, that's that. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on this real quick. So, I want to share on the depopulation agenda. Okay, so, who was it? I think King D, if I'm not mistaken, or somebody sent me an email, and I checked into it, and I didn't get a chance to really dive further because I was trying to, you know, get more information. But it's about depopulation. So real quick, I'm gonna touch on this and call it in. But if you go to Diego.com, I'm not sure, apart from it being what looks like a, you know, it looks like a military grade, you know, order sheet or something like that. It has to do with combat Air Force space system. So I don't really know the origins behind this, but one thing I found interesting, and I appreciate the community member to share this with me via email. I did look at it, and it talks about just future forecast. And so whoever this entity is putting this together, they are knowledgeable of all the information when it comes to military action and with traveling and stuff like that, because you see all the recent United States American views and all the orders for aircrafts and money being spent for all these military Lockheed Martin contracts. So they know some things. So, you know, whatever. Why would they be forecasting whatever? But anyway, forecast for 2025, the population, they're saying it's going to be minus 100 million people. So that means we're at 327 million right now, give or take. This forecast from this entity here says that we're going to be short 100 million people, whether it's because of this current health situation or whatever else comes our way. They're saying depopulation of 100 million. And then GDP per capita is going to be down. It's going to be cut in half, which means that more than likely the labor force, as I mentioned, will not be as, won't be as many opportunities, more than likely. So right now, GDP, according to the population and everything else, equates to 59,000. He's saying it's going to be, they saying it's going to be 24. So everything's going to be cut in half within the next couple of years, according to this forecast. So that means between now and 2025, if this happens, we're expected to see some crazy stuff going on. And you know it's going to be bad when you got the military budget, which is, as of right now, $637 billion, of which today the House decided to pass a new defensive spending bill of $700 billion, but they can't come together on a relief package or something like that for the people, but they made sure they did the military thing. Then also you go here, it talks about the military budget in 2025 will be only, or will be minus 32. So it's either only minus 32 or whatever. I don't know, but it's a little bit less. So whatever that's worth, man. But I wanted to put that out there so people had a chance to see what's going on with that. I saw it in the chat. But anyway, a minute or 8 longer than we usually go. Appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. As always, I want to encourage you guys, if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions after watching this, leave them in the comment section. I'll try to get to them if I can. If you've enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to donate a thumbs up. Just click the button beneath this video here. And also, share this video. Invite people to the chat. so we can connect with other people. So it's one thing to talk amongst like-minded individuals. It'd be good to get some people in here who think we're probably crazy conspiracy theorist people, and we lay out some things to them and share information with them so they can hopefully better prepare. But anyway, it's been a long evening. Hope everyone enjoyed this night, and hopefully be back tomorrow night, Lord willing, the same time, same place. And tomorrow afternoon, I got an interview with one of my former guests to talk about the coin shortage. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But anyway, be blessed, be safe. See you guys later. Peace.